In the bustling city of Solitude, the Bards College serves as a hub for Skyrim's musical and poetic talent. But hidden among the songs and tales is a subtle nod to one of gaming's foundational RPGs, the Bards Tale, released in 1985. This classic RPG was a major influence on Bethesda's early work, and Skyrim tips its hat to it through the Bards College and its performers. While the connection isn't overt, the idea of a guild dedicated to storytelling, music, and heroic tales feels like a direct homage to the game. Even the tone of some bardic songs echo the style of narrative-driven fantasy that the Bard Tale helped pioneer. It's a quiet but fitting tribute, weaving gaming history into the world of Tamriel. So, the next time you're in Solitude, stop by the Bards College and soak in its atmosphere. You're not just listening to Skyrim songs, you're hearing echoes of a bygone RPG era. Have you ever noticed how few children there are in Skyrim? Despite bustling cities and sprawling villages, kids seem to be a rare sight. Some fans speculate this reflects the toll of Skyrim's brutal realities. Decades of war, famine, and dragon attacks likely cause population decline. Others wonder if it's a result of Skyrim's harsh climate, where survival is so demanding that raising a family feels like an impossible luxury. From a design perspective, fewer children also means fewer assets to animate and program, keeping the game's resources focused elsewhere. But their absence creates a haunting atmosphere, as if Skyrim's future hangs in the balance. So, what do you guys think? Is this a reflection of Skyrim's lore, or just a practical limitation? Beneath the bustling streets of Riften, the Ratway hides more than just thieves and cutthroats. If you venture deep into its dimly lit tunnels, you might hear something chilling. Ghostly whispers echoing throughout the dark. These faint voices seem to belong to the victims of Riften's criminal underworld, haunting the place where they likely met their end. While the whispers don't lead to a quest or explanation, they add a sinister atmosphere to the Ratway. Are they the restless spirits of the guild's victims, or just another layer of Riften's decaying soul? Either way, the present makes every shadow in the Ratway feel alive, and not in a good way. So, what do you guys think? Are the whispers just ambience, or do they hint at a darker secret beneath Riften? Let me know down below. Deep beneath the surface of Skyrim lies Blackreach, a sprawling, underground world unlike anything else in Tamriel. It's a realm of glowing mushrooms, eerie silence, and mechanical guardians that feel more alive than the land above. But Blackreach isn't just a marvel of Dwemer engineering. It's a place steeped in hidden meanings and dark symbolism. The vastness of Blackreach reflects the Dwemer's ambition. They didn't just build cities, they created entire ecosystems, carving out a self-contained world beneath the earth. Its luminescent beauty feels almost alien, a stark contrast to the harsh and rugged landscapes of Skyrim above. This duality may symbolize the Dwemer themselves, a civilization of unmatched brilliance, but one whose hubris led to their downfall. The glow of Blackreach isn't just for show either. The crimson nirnroot plant that thrives in this dark environment represents life persisting against all odds. Its presence in Blackreach echoes the theme of survival, but its rarity and isolation hint at the price of that persistence, a lonely existence, far removed from the light of day. And then, there's the ominous presence of the Tower of Mizark, where you can uncover one of Skyrim's ultimate secrets, the Elder Scroll. It's as if Blackreach was built to shield this ancient artifact, guarding knowledge so powerful it could alter the course of history. Yet, despite its purpose, the Dwemer themselves are gone, leaving behind their silent automa protect something they'll never use ever again. But perhaps the most haunting aspect of Blackreach is its emptiness. For all its grandeur, it's devoid of its creators, a monument to a vanished people. As you wander its glowing halls and abandoned cities, you can't help but feel the weight of what was lost. A reminder that even the greatest civilizations can crumble under the weight of their ambition. So, when you explore Blackreach, take a moment to absorb its beauty, its mystery, and its eerie silence. It's more than just a dungeon. It's a story, a warning, and a marvel all rolled into one. And tell me, what's your most memorable moment inside of Blackreach? I can sure tell you guys, it was one of my, if not my favorite place in all of Skyrim, just purely because of its beauty and everything I've listed. But seriously, I would really love to hear what draws you guys to Blackreach. In the harsh, dragon-infested lands of Skyrim, where survival means wielding swords and shouting dragons out of the sky, there's one thing you'll find more consistently than potions or weapons. Cheese wheels. Yes, cheese. And if you think their constant, inexplicable presence is just a happy accident, think again. The culprit? None other than Sheogorath, the Daedric Prince of Madness, and self-proclaimed cheese aficionado extraordinaire.
So many How rude! Can't be bothered to host an old friend for a decade or two. Damn. Inside the mind of Pelagius, silly. Oh, is it your first time? Pelagius the Third? Now, surely even you know about Pelagius's decree. On his deathbed, oh, and this was inspired, he forbade death! That's right! Death! Outlawed!
Sheogorath isn't just a fan of cheese, he's obsessed. In the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion, during his reign in the Shivering Isles, his love for dairy products became legendary. This is a man, or Daedra, who could summon entire banquets of cheese just for fun, then gleefully declare, "Cheese for everyone!" Wait, no. Cheese for no one. Honestly, who needs consistency when you're the Prince of Madness? And it's not just any cheese. Skyrim's cheese wheels, those perfectly round golden nuggets of joy, are practically Sheogorath's calling card. They're scattered everywhere, in dungeons, abandoned keeps, Nordic tombs, and even on cliff edges, as if the bandits, Dragor, and ancient Nords were all secret cheesemongerers. You can almost hear Sheogorath cackling, "Why leave gold when you can leave Gouda?" But here's the kick. Cheese wheels in Skyrim aren't just food. They're chaos in dairy form. Drop one on a steep slope and watch it roll endlessly. A perfect metaphor for Sheogorath's unhinged energy. Forget fighting dragons. The real fun lies in seeing if you can race your cheese wheel to the bottom of a mountain. Spoiler alert, you can't. Of course, this all begs the question. Did the developers mean for Sheogorath's madness to spill into Skyrim's cheese supply? Or did they just have a surplus of dairy assets laying around? Either way, the result is the same. Skyrim isn't just a land of adventure, it's a land of lactose. But Sheogorath's influence doesn't just stop at cheese. He also happens to be the mastermind behind one of Skyrim's most chaotic and entertaining weapons, the Wabbajack. And trust me, it's just as unpredictable as the man himself. Stay tuned for that little slice of madness. Deep within the shadowy halls of the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary, one voice stands out. Not the ominous whispers of the Night Mother, but the erratic, unnerving laughter of Cicero. The Keeper. He's a figure of chaos, devotion, and dark humor, whose personality is as colorful as his gestures garb. But Cicero isn't just another quirky NPC. He's a character woven from tragedy, devotion, and a touch of madness. Cicero's unforgettable voice is brought to life by Andy Morris, who masterfully blends humor with menace. Drawing inspiration from characters like the Joker, Morris infuses Cicero's high-pitched giggles and dramatic shifts in tone with an unsettling energy. It's the voice that has made Cicero one of Skyrim's most iconic and polarizing characters.
No, just my head playing tricks. Oh, foolish Cicero. Must oil mother soon. Get all the hard-to-reach places.
Love him or hate him, his presence is impossible to ignore. But beyond the voice and erratic behavior lies a man with a story. One written in anguish and ink. Cicero's journals, scattered throughout the quest line and throughout the Brotherhood sanctuary, offer a glimpse into his psyche. In its pages, you'll read about his fall from grace, from a respected assassin to the keeper of the Night Mother. His isolation in this role, coupled with his desperation to preserve the crumbling Dark Brotherhood, paints a picture of a man spiraling into madness. The journal entries reveal his disdain for the state of the Brotherhood, his loneliness, and his undying faith in the Night Mother, who remains his only companion in the sanctuary. You can almost feel his bitterness and heartbreak as he clings to the rituals and traditions that others have abandoned. And then, there is the Night Mother herself, the mysterious figure who binds Cicero to his purpose. As the listener, the player is granted a rare and intimate connection with her. When you climb into her coffin during key moments in the questline, the game soundscape shifts. Everything fades, leaving only her chilling whispers.
Are we alone? Yes. Yes! Alone! Sweet solitude! No one will hear us, disturb us. Everything is going according to plan. The others, I've spoken to them, and they're coming around, I know it. The wizard Festus Crex. Perhaps even the Argonian, and the Unchild. What about you? Have you spoken to anyone? No? No, of course not. I do the talking, the stalking, the seeing, and the saying. And what do you do? Nothing! Not... When I'm angry. Oh, never. Cicero understands. Cicero always understands. And obeys. You will talk when you're ready, won't you? Won't you? Sweet Night Mother.
Oh, Cicero. Dear Cicero. Such a humble servant. But he will never hear my voice. For he is not a listener.
Oh, but how can I defend you? How can I exert your will if you will not speak to anyone?
Oh, but I will speak. I will speak to you. For you are the one. You who shares my iron tomb, who warms my ancient bones, I give you this task. Journey to Bullen. Speak with Armand Poitier.
Poor Cicero has failed you. Poor Cicero is sorry, sweet mother. Tried so very hard, but I just can't find the listener.
Tell Cicero the time has come. Tell him the words he has been waiting for all these years. Darkness rises when silence dies.
What? What treachery! Defiler! Debaser and defiler! You have violated the sanctity of the Night Mother's coffin!
Her voice, cold, yet commanding. In these moments, the boundary between mortal and superstition dissolves, as if the Night Mother is speaking directly to your soul. Cicero's devotion to her becomes almost understandable when you experience these whispers firsthand. The coffin, crammed and suffocating, feels like a portal to a darker world, where ancient power and the weight of tradition press down on you. Together, Cicero, his journal, and the Night Mother's whispers create one of the most compelling and unnerving storylines in Skyrim. They force you to confront themes of loyalty, insanity, and the burden of faith. So, here's a question for you guys. When it came time to decide Cicero's fate, what path did you take? Did you spare him, seeing the humanity beneath his madness, or did you silence his voice forever? Let us know in the comments. But remember, the Night Mother is always listening. Perched precautiously on a cliff overlooking the Sea of Ghosts, the College of Winterhold stands as Skyrim's ultimate refuge for mages, but its towering spires and magical halls hide more than just tomes and spells. They also hold secrets, mysteries, and a shadowy past. The college is the last bastion of magic in a land that views the arcane with suspicion. After the Great Collapse, which destroyed much of Winterhold, many blame the college, believing its experiments triggered the disaster. While no evidence supports this claim, the whispers persist, isolating the college from the surrounding city and fueling its aura of mystery. Inside the college is a treasure trove for any inspiring mage. From enchanting to spellcasting, its facilities rival even the Mages Guild of other provinces. But its true appeal lies in its darker corners. Hidden quests, ancient artifacts, and forbidden knowledge waiting to be uncovered. Whether you see the college as a sanctuary for the misunderstood, or a dangerous hub for the reckless, experimentation depends on your perspective. Either way, it's a place where power comes at a price, and curiosity can lead to incredible rewards, or perilous consequences. In the shadowy corners of Hermaeus Mora's domain, where knowledge twists and warps reality, there exists a book unlike any other in Skyrim. Its name alone commands reverence and fear. The Ogma Infinium, the Book of Forbidden Knowledge. This Daedric artifact isn't just a dusty old tome. It's a gateway to power, enlightenment, and possibly madness. The Ogma Infinium is the reward for completing the quest Discerning the Transmune. To claim it, you must retrieve the blood of Tamriel's races for Hermaeus Mora, an unsettling task that hints at just how far this Daedric prince is willing to go in his pursuit of knowledge. When you finally lay your hands on the book, you can feel its weight, not just physical, but metaphysical, as though it's pulsing with the secrets of the universe. And secrets, it really does hold. Opening the Ogma Infinium isn't like reading a standard skill book in Skyrim. It's an event. The moment the book's pages unfold, you're offered a choice between three paths. The Path of the warrior, the path of the thief, or the path of the mage. Each path grants a permanent boost to your skills, sharpening your Dragonborn's destiny. But once you choose, the book is gone forever, absorbed, perhaps, into your very being. The artifact's backstory is as dark as the ink on its pages. It was written by the ancient mortal wizard Xarzes, under the guidance of Hermaeus Mora himself. Xarzes, said to be the scribe of the gods, poured the sum of his knowledge into the book, creating an artifact so powerful that it could elevate or destroy those who dare to use it. The Augma Infinium isn't just a book. It's a test, a measure, of whether the seeker is worthy of its secrets. Even the design of the Augma Infinium is chilling. The cover, with its jagged edges and alien markings, looks less like a book and more like a fragment of another reality. As you flip through its pages, you can almost hear Hermaeus Mora whispering in the back of your mind, tempting you to take one step closer into the abyss. So guys, the question is, when you encountered the Augma Infinium, did you embrace its power? Or did the price of knowledge give you pause? And which path did you choose? Let me know in the comments below. Just don't be surprised if Hermaeus Mora is reading along with you. In the frigid heights of the throat of the world, Skyrim's tallest peak, lies a peculiar artifact that nods to one of gaming's greatest creations. Perched precariously on the cliffside is the Notched Pickaxe, a unique weapon that, at first glance, seems like a simple mining tool. But this isn't just any pickaxe, it's a tribute. The name is direct reference to Marcus Notch Pearson, the creator of Minecraft, which was taking the gaming world by storm when Skyrim launched in 2011. Its inclusion serves as a clever Easter egg, blending Skyrim's rugged fantasy with Minecraft's blocky creativity. The pickaxe even enhances your smithing skill, as if to whisper, "Go ahead, build something incredible." Now, to find this artifact, you must brave the snowy ascent of the Throat of the World, a journey that mirrors the adventurous spirit of both games. Don't let its quaint appearance fool you though. This pickaxe packs a punch in combat and can still mine like a champion. So, the next time you're scaling Skyrim's most treacherous peaks, remember, sometimes even in the simplest tools hold a legacy. And who knows, maybe the dragons up there are just waiting for you to build them a cozy stone fortress. In the dark, quiet nights of Skyrim, on the winding roads of Whiterun Hold or the Pale, you might catch a glimpse of something truly haunting. A spectral rider galloping through the mist. This is the Headless Horseman, one of Skyrim's eeriest and most mysterious encounters. Clad in spectral armor and missing his head, the ghostly figure silently roams the road at night. If you're brave or curious enough to follow him, he'll lead you to Hamvir's Rest, an ancient Nordic barrow riddled with undead and treasures. Some say the Headless Horseman was a former warrior, decapitated in battle, now cursed to wander the land, endlessly searching for something lost in death. But here's the twist. He never attacks, he never speaks, and never acknowledges your presence. He's a riddle without an answer, a ghost without a story. At least not one the game ever fully reveals. And perhaps that's what makes him so captivating. So, the next time you're riding under Skyrim's moonlit skies, keep an eye out for the spectral rider. And if you followed him before, what theories do you have about his origin? Share your thoughts. Maybe together we can unravel this ghostly enigma, and I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on him. In the dimly lit corners of taverns and libraries across Skyrim lies a book so infamous it's earned a cult following both in Tamriel and the real world. Yes, we're talking about the Lusty Argonian Maid. This risk piece of literature might seem like just another quirky in-game joke, but Its inclusion has deep roots in Bethesda's history, originally featured in the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion. This steamy tale became an unexpected fan favorite, sparking memes and endless laughter. Bethesda decided to bring it back in Skyrim, doubling down on its absurd humor and further cementing its place in gaming culture. The story follows Lusty Tale, an Argonian maid whose cleaning duties turn into something far more suggestive thanks to her employer, Cranius Colto. While the narrative is hilariously suggestive, it never crosses the line into outright explicit content, leaving much to the imagination, probably more than most of us bargained for. Why does Bethesda keep slipping this book into the Elder Scrolls series? Perhaps it's a reminder not to take ourselves or our epic fantasy RPGs too seriously. And hey, it might even spark a new career path for your Dragonborn as Tamriel's next great literary critic. Now guys though, here is a fun question. Have you ever read the entire book and game? Or is it just a prop for a quick laugh? Let me know in the comments. And maybe, just maybe, we'll dive deeper into Tamriel's literal underbelly. On the winding roads of Skyrim's Whiterun Hold, you'll often pass stoic guards clad in iron armor, dutifully protecting their towns. But no matter how many guards you encounter, one line seems inescapable.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
It's a simple line, delivered in the deadpan tone of Skyrim's guards. Yet, it became one of the most iconic memes in gaming history. But what does it really mean? On the surface, it's easy to imagine a hapless guard re-encountering a battle injury, explaining why he traded the thrill of adventuring for the relative safety of guard duty. Yet, some fans suggest there's more to the story. In Nordic culture, the phrase, taking an arrow to the knee, has been interpreted as an old colloquialism for marriage. Essentially, the guard might not be laminating a literal injury, but rather joking about settling down and leaving behind his adventuring days. This clever double meaning, intentional or not, adds depth to an otherwise throwaway line. But why did this one piece of dialogue rise above Skyrim's countless other memorable quotes? Perhaps it's its frequency. It feels like every other guard says it, creating an almost comical overexposure. Or maybe it's just the relatability of the sentiment. After all, how many of us have left behind our adventuring dreams for life's more mundane responsibilities? Even today, years after Skyrim's release, Arrow to the Knee lives on as a cultural touchstone, from memes to merchandise. It's a reminder of how even the smallest details in a game can resonate far beyond their original context. So, the next time you pass a guard and hear that familiar line, pause for a moment. Is it a cry of regret, a playful metaphor, or just a piece of game design that spiraled into internet legend? Share your thoughts in the comments, unless, of course, you've taken an arrow to the knee yourself. If cheese wheels rolling down mountains are Sheogorath's idea of fun, then the Wabbajack is his masterpiece. A weapon so chaotic, it could only belong to the Daedric Prince of Madness. Found during the quest, The Mind of Madness, the Wabbajack is as unpredictable as its creator. And that's saying something. Let's set the scene. You meet Dervin, a clearly unhinged man in solitude, begging you to find his master. Naturally, his master turns out to be Sheogorath, who's taken up residence inside the mind of the once great Pelagius Septim III. Yes, you read that right. You're literally diving into someone's mind to have tea with the Daedric Prince. But this is Sheogorath, so what did you expect? Sanity? As you navigate the bizarre realm of Pelagius's fractured psyche, Sheogorath hands you the Wabbajack, a staff that doesn't fire fireballs, lightning bolts, or anything remotely normal. No, the Wabbajack turns enemies into chickens, mud crabs, or sweet rolls. Or it might heal them, or explode them, or summon a Daedra. Basically, it's the weapon equivalent of rolling dice with your life. But what makes the Wabbajack truly hilarious is how it embodies Sheogorath's philosophy, embracing the chaos. Every shot is a gamble. Will that towering bandit chief become a harmless rabbit? Or will you accidentally spawn a frost Arnotch that turns on you? Who knows? And that is the fun. Even Sheogorath's name for the weapon feels like a joke. Wabbajack sounds less like the title of a legendary Daedric artifact and more like something a toddler would name their favorite stick. And, honestly, isn't that the point? Sheogorath wants you to revel in the absurd, to see the world not as it should be, but as it could be, with a little extra madness sprinkled in. So whether you're using the Wabbajack to turn a dragon into a goat, or just enjoying the sheer unpredictability of its power, remember one thing. It's not about what the Wabbajack does, it's about what it might do. And if you've ever had an especially wild Wabbajack moment, share it in the comments. We could all use a little more madness in our lives. In the libraries and homes of Skyrim, one book stands out among the volumes of Nordic lore. The Book of the Dragonborn. This ancient text isn't just a piece of history. It's a prophecy, a guide, and a call to destiny for those destined to bear the title of Dragonborn. The book speaks of an era where dragons will rise again, and a Dragonborn will emerge to bring balance to Tamriel. It doesn't name you specifically, but its words are undeniably about the player, setting the stage for your role as the savior, or destroyer of Skyrim. It's more than a tale. It's a weight reminding you of the power and responsibility tied to the voice. What's intriguing is how vague and open-ended the prophecy is. Some interpret it as a tale of hope, others as a warning of destruction. This ambiguity reflects the very nature of the Dragonborn. Your choices shape the world, for better or worse. So, have you ever stopped to read this prophetic book? Next time you see it, take a moment to flip through its pages and consider how its words echo your journey. Clairvoyance sounds like a lifesaver, a spell that creates a glowing path to your next objective. But in practice, it's more of a comedic act. Cast it in the wrong place and it'll lead you in circles, point you at a wall, or just vanish entirely. Its short range and magicka drain make it almost useless, especially when Skyrim's quest markers already do a better job. Some might argue it's Bethesda's way of saying, get lost, literally. So, have you ever actually used Clairvoyance, or is it just a spell you forget exists? Let us know in the comments. No glowing path is required. In the shadowy corners of Skyrim, where mortality blurs and desperation reigns, one vice looms large, the Skooma Trade. This potent, addictive substance, made from refined moon sugar, has destroyed lives, toppled families, and created a thriving black market. But skooma isn't just a psychedelic. It's a symbol of power, exploration, and the darker side of survival in Tamriel. Throughout Skyrim, skooma's presence is unmistakable. Visit Riften, a city already plagued by corruption, and you'll find skooma dens tucked away in the shadows. The Rift's population bears the brunt of its effects. Addicts desperate for their next fix, willing to trade anything, even their dignity, for one more taste. The dealers, meanwhile, grow fat off the suffering of others, feeding the cycle of addiction and ruin. But the story of skooma doesn't stop with addicts and peddlers. Its roots run deep, intertwined with the history of the Khajiit. The substance originates from elsewhere, where moon sugar is a sacred plant of Khajiit culture, often used in religious rites. However, when refined into skooma, it transforms into something far more sinister, a tool of exploration. This dynamic mirrors the real-world commodification of cultural resources, where something as sacred is twisted into a vice for profit. Even Skyrim's economy feels the weight of Skooma's influence. Smugglers risk their lives to transport it, operating outside the law, but often under the protection of powerful figures. In some cases, Skooma's trade routes intersect with the Thieves Guild, adding another layer of intrigue and danger to their operations. And yet, for all its devastation, the Skooma Trade also offers a glimpse into Skyrim's humanity, or lack thereof. It's a survival mechanism for some, a power play for others, and a tragedy for all involved. When you encounter Skooma addicts begging for a fix, do you judge them, help them, or walk away? The choice is yours, but the implications are far-reaching. In the shadowy underbelly of Riften, the Thieves Guild lurks, not just as a band of common criminals, but as a symbol of systemic corruption and unchecked power. At the heart of their operations is Maven Blackbriar, a figure who's less a crime lord and more a shadowy politician, pulling strings and controlling the city with an iron grip wrapped in velvet. The Thieves Guild questline is more than a tale of gold and glory. It's a pointed critique of power and the way it manipulates society. Maven doesn't hide in the shadows like her associates. She thrives in the light, openly commanding respect, fear, and obedience, from the guards who turn a blind eye to her dealings, to the Jarl who grants her influence over the city. Maven's reach is a chilling reflection of what happens when wealth and corruption intertwine. Riften itself feels like a character in this narrative, a city that's rotten from the inside out. The beggars on its streets and the dilapidated state of the lower dock stand in stark contrast to the wealth flowing into the Blackbriar coffers. It's a world where loyalty is bought, justice is for sale, and the system ensures that those at the top, like Maven, stay there. And then there's you, the player. As you climb the ranks of the Thieves Guild, you become complicit in the system, forging alliances with Maven and ensuring her continued dominance. By the end of the questline, the guild is restored to its former glory, but at what cost? The wealth and power you've helped amass aren't exactly going to downtrodden into the citizens of Riften. Bethesda's subtle critique of unchecked capitalism and political corruption is woven seamlessly into this story. Maven Blackbriar represents the worst of what power can do when it's wielded without accountability. While the Thieves Guild thrives as a symptom of a broken system, it's not just a commentary on Tamriel. It's a reflection of real-world dynamics. So, as you revel in your ill-gotten gains, consider this. Did you ever stop to question the consequences of your rise to power in Riften? Or were you too busy counting your septims to notice the city's crumbling around you? Let me know in the comments. Just make sure Maven doesn't hear you. She has a long reach after all. In Skyrim's wind-swept plains, few sights are as iconic as a towering giant striding along its herd of mammoths. These two creatures are more than just wildlife. They represent one of Skyrim's most fascinating and mysterious relationships. Giants, with their slow movements and primitive ways, seem to act as shepherds for their woolly companions, forming a bond that feels almost sacred. Mammoths, despite their size, are surprisingly docile under the care of the giants. They follow their towering guardians from camp to camp, grazing in the tundra and carrying their massive tusks as if in peaceful coexistence. Giants, in turn, fiercely protect their herds, swinging their massive clubs at anything foolish enough to come too close, whether it's a predator, a dragon, or even a Dragonborn. Theories abound about this ancient partnership. Some suggest that mammoths provide giants with resources like milk, meat, or even companionship in Skyrim's harsh wilderness. Others believe that the bond is spiritual, with giants revering mammoths as a symbol of strength and survival. The painted designs on the mammoth tusks hint at rituals or traditions that remain a mystery to even the most seasoned adventurers. But here's the real question. Who's the caretaker in this relationship? Are the giants protecting the mammoths? Or are the mammoths guiding the giants through Skyrim's wilds? Next time you cross paths with these majestic duos, think twice before disturbing them. Or you might find yourself taking a one-way trip into the stratosphere, courtesy of a giant's club. Deep within Skyrim's sprawling Dwemer ruins, you'll find the remnants of a once great civilization, the Dwemer, or dwarves, as they're more commonly known. Their elaborate machines still hum with power. Their architecture defies the ravages of time, and yet, they themselves, they're gone, entirely. The sudden disappearance of the dwarves is one of Tamriel's most haunting mysteries, and exploring their ruins only raises more questions than answers. So, what happened to the Dwemer? The most widely accepted theory involves their attempt to achieve godhood. The Dwemer were not just brilliant engineers, they were ambitious to a fault. They sought to harness the heart of Lorkhan, a powerful artifact tied to the creation of the world. Using their tonal architecture and advanced knowledge of reality itself, they attempted to bind the heart's power to themselves. But, as history tells us, something went catastrophically wrong. The moment they activated their grand experiment, the Dwemer vanished. They didn't fled, they're not hidden, just vanished. Entire cities emptied in an instant, their people seemingly erased from existence. Theories abound. Some believe they were cast into an alternate dimension. Others suggested that they were annihilated outright. And some whisper that they became the very machines they built, trapped forever in metal shells. Adding to the mystery is Yargum Bargun, the last known living Dwemer, whom you encounter in the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. Yagrum survived only because he was in another realm of time at the disappearance. His presence offers a tantalizing clue, but even he doesn't fully understand what happened to his people, leaving the mystery as unsolved as ever. What makes the story of the Dwemer so compelling is how their runes reflect their legacy. Blackreach, Mizchefel, and other Dwemer sites are filled with both beauty and danger, an eerie testament to their brilliance and hubris. Their automatrons still roam, programmed to protect cities long abandoned, as if the Dwemer expected to return at any moment, but they never did. The disappearance of the Dwemer isn't just a historical curiosity, it's a cautionary tale about ambition, the limits of knowledge, and the consequences of playing with forces beyond mortal comprehension. Exploring their runes feels like walking through the remains of a dream that ended in disaster. So guys, what is your theory? Were the Dwemer victims of their own hubris, or did something even more sinister claim them? Let me know in the comments. Just be careful not to awaken one of their centurions while you're exploring. Those things hit hard. In the twisted shadows of Markarth, a Daedric artifact waits to ensnare unsuspecting adventurers. The Mace of Molag Bal. This brutal weapon isn't just a tool for combat. It's a symbol of Molag Bal's dark influence over domination, suffering, and enslavement. You encounter the mace during the quest, the House of Horrors, where a seemingly abandoned house quickly turns into a scene of terror. Molag Bal traps you in his web of manipulation, forcing you to confront and kill a priest of Bohethia. As part of his cruel game, your reward? The Mace of Molag Bal, a weapon as merciless as the Daedric Prince himself. The mace is as deadly as it is symbolic. The enchantments drain the stamina and magicka of your enemies, leaving them helpless before your strikes. But that's not all. It also fills soul gems, allowing you to trap the souls of those you defeat. It's a weapon of pure cruelty, designed to crush both the body and the spirit. More than just a weapon, the Mace of Molag Bal embodies its creator's philosophy. Molag Bal, the Prince of Domination, thrives on control and suffering, and this mace serves as an extension of his will. By wielding it, you don't just embrace power, you embrace his dark ideology, whether you realize it or not. So when you take up the Mace of Molag Bal, ask yourself, are you its master, or just another pawn in Molag Bal's endless game of control? In the quiet, wind-swept plains of the Reach, there's an unassuming inn called the Old Hroldan Inn. A place most adventurers pass by without a second thought. But this inn holds more than just warm beds and meat. It harbors a ghostly secret tied to Tamriel's history. Spend the night at the Old Hroldan, and you might encounter a spectral figure wandering the halls. This is the ghost of Old Hroldan, a spirit from an era long past. At first, it seems like a typical haunting, but when you approach, the ghost begins to speak, not in anger, but with the sense of longing. It calls you Hajilt, believing you to be its old companion, a name with great significance.
Your skin's as pale as the snow. You scared of sunlight or something? There's a ghost just wandering around my inn like it owned the place. Yes, I've heard stories that old Hroldan was haunted, but no one's seen a ghost here since the Great War. He's from the battle, I just know it. He's one of Tiber Septim's soldiers, back from the dead. Until next time.
Hjalti, is that you? I've been waiting. You promised me, Hjalti. You promised that when we sacked Hroldan, you would make me your sworn brother. And I've waited. Even after the enemy's arrows dug into my chest and their hammers crushed my bones, I've waited. Give me your sword, Hjalti, that we may become brothers, as you promised.
Hijelt, Earlybeard, is one of the many names of Tiber Septim, the founder of the Empire, and perhaps the most legendary figure in Tamrielic history. The ghost connection to Hijelt suggests that this inn might have been a crucial stop point during Tiber Septim's rise to power, a place where he once stayed as a mortal before ascending to godhood. To appease the ghost, you'll need to retrieve Hajelt's sword, an artifact tied to the shared past. Completing this quest not only calms the spirit, but also deepens the lore surrounding Tiber Septim's earlier days. The inn, once just another waypoint, becomes a bridge to Tamriel's most celebrated history. What's most striking about this encounter is the ghost's demeanor. He's not hostile, but he is mournful, a forgotten fragment of a bygone era. It's a reminder that even legends leave behind echoes of humanity. So, what do you guys think? Was this ghost truly linked to the Tiber Septim, or is it just a spirit lost in its memories? Let's discuss the mysteries of Old Hroldan in the comments, and maybe share some other of your favorite ghostly encounters in Skyrim. I would love to hear them.
All of a sudden, the ghost disappeared. What happened to it?